Just ahead on Tempo in Depth, did you know that 3 in 10 teen girls in the United States will get pregnant at least once before they turn 20? That amounts to almost 750,000 teen pregnancies each and every year. It's the leading cause of high school dropouts and costs taxpayers $11 billion a year. But it's not all bad news. Teen pregnancy has reached an all-time low, and research shows less than half of high school students are having sex. During the next half hour, you'll hear from young parents trying to balance babies and home with the pressures of work and school. We're talking about babies having babies, and it all starts right now on Tempo in Depth.
The people of Air Products feel privileged to bring this programming to you. By supporting education and the arts, Air Products strives to improve the quality of life here in the Lehigh Valley, where we call home.
You're safe at home at Luther Crest, a Diacon senior living community in Allentown. Our mission is to offer premier accommodations and services so residents can cultivate a healthy and fulfilling retirement. At Luther Crest, we offer independent living apartments and cottages, personal care, skilled nursing, rehabilitative services, and more. Plus, the Luther Crest team strives to provide each person family-like support. You might say it's like a home run. Luther Crest.
Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Amy Burkett. Well, you know what? We've got a great studio audience joining us now from Freedom High School, a great group of students that we're looking forward to spending some time with. Look how handsome they are. Their moms and dads are getting a close look right now. Well, first, we're going to talk about teen pregnancy. The government estimates that about 750,000 teen girls learn they're pregnant each year. That's an average of 2,000 girls every day. While many think of teen pregnancy as a young woman's problem, it takes two to tango, and you hear much less in the media about the young men involved. We'll talk more about teen moms later in the show, but first, we wanted to focus on teen dads. Studies find that 1 in 10 young men become fathers before their 20th birthdays. According to the U.S. Office of Adolescent Health, only half of teen fathers finish high school or get a GED by the time they're 22. Research shows that sons of adolescent fathers are almost twice as likely to repeat the cycle of young parenthood and become teenage dads themselves. So what's done in our community to help these young fathers? Tempo in Depth's Laura McHugh takes us to William Allen High School to find out.
From the outside looking in, 17-year-old Hector Bayanilla appears to be on the fast track for boxing fame.
I have 37 fights. My trainer's best coach I could ever ask for.
For almost 4 years, this Allentown teenager has spent night after night sparring for hours in the ring, preparing for a future in boxing.
He has a vision to become pro.
Today, the high school junior has even more to fight for.
I don't feel like life is a joke anymore. I feel like I actually have something to live for, something to graduate for.
Hector does it all for his newborn son, Jordan.
To show my kid, never give up in life. Nothing's impossible.
Hector acknowledges it didn't always feel that way. When he first found out his girlfriend, Shayla Ramos, was pregnant, he didn't know what they'd do.
How are we going to do this? How am I going to continue my boxing? Am I going to be able to finish school? A lot of things went through my mind.
Since November, when baby Jordan was born, both Hector and Shayla grew up overnight.
Waking up every 2 hours in the morning, can't get that much sleep. It was hard. It was hard.
Like, in the beginning, when my son was a few months, I was like, it's so hard. I want to go to school, but then at the same time, I'll be so exhausted. And I'm like, my son needed a lot in the beginning, and I couldn't give it to him.
Despite those challenges, both Hector and Shayla stayed in school and want to graduate next year.
A lot of times when we talk to the students, we ask them what their goals are for their children, and it's always graduate high school. So we want them to be a good role model for their children.
Statistics show that parenthood is a leading cause of high school dropout, and only half of teen moms have their high school diplomas. At William Allen High School, teenagers like Hector and Shayla get support from the ELECT program, a special course offered to pregnant and parenting students in the Allentown School District.
They're more of like a support system. Like sometimes you can be so stressed, like, Jess, I can't get this, or, you know, and then like they'll help you. They'll try to help you get you what you need, or help you like with your goals, like how are you going to finish school, like stuff like that.
According to program manager Connie Sentz, the program offers academic support, case management, parenting lessons, and career guidance, all aimed at helping these young parents graduate high school.
I would say they need the extra support services because we need to keep them in school. We need them to earn their high school diploma and to be able to be economically self-sufficient once they're finished with school. And that's why we do the transition piece with them, transitioning into work or to higher education.
Connie says many young fathers need a role model themselves. That's where Sam Martinez and the Fatherhood Initiative come in.
Out of 23 million children in America, 1 out of 3 are fatherless. Yes, 1 out of 3. We have to help these young men to not repeat the cycle. And that's my goal as the father coordinator, is that we have to break that cycle and lower those numbers.
Sam works with about 15 to 20 of the teen dads in the ELECT program. He does everything from convince them to stay in school to help them secure jobs.
When they find out that they're going to be a dad or they are a dad, they want to right away stop coming to school and go get a job. And I remind them, and a diploma equals a salary. You can't drop out.
Sam's been there almost every step of the way for 18-year-old Marvin Enriquez and his 2-year-old son, Lewis.
There are points where you get really, really stressed out and everything just hits you at one time. But then those are the moments where you have to just realize, oh, I did this and I want to keep going because I don't want to be a failure to the people around me.
Marvin was just a freshman in high school when he found out his girlfriend, Anne-Marie Velez, was pregnant.
I was scared and nervous, mostly because I didn't know how my parents would react. So it was really emotional, I was so young, going through all that. It was rough.
Having those stresses, you're not really ready for them. You think, I'm not going to have to worry about that until I'm like 20, 25. But then when it hits you now, you're like, oh, I'm not ready.
Ready or not, baby Lewis and his endless energy changed their lives. While the past 2 years brought plenty of challenges, both Marvin and Aunt Marie will graduate this year.
I have all my credits already. I'm ready. I'm just waiting for the day to come.
Anne Marie's enrolled in community college, and Marvin has a job lined up for after he graduates. When they receive their high school diplomas, there's no doubt that Sam will be there.
We go through the challenges together, the highs and the lows together, but to see them to come out at the end saying, you know what, I'm getting my diploma, you know what, it makes it worth it. It makes it really worth it.
Worth it for that one little piece of paper that will put these teenagers and their sons on track for better lives. For Tempo in Depth, I'm Laura McHugh reporting.
Thanks so much, Laura. One of the many obstacles teen parents face to staying in school is affordable childcare. In our region, Lehigh Valley Children's Centers provide a subsidized, low-cost option for many of these young parents. Here to help us learn more, Angel Avery Wright, Lehigh Valley Child Care's Early Education and Child Care Program Manager, and teen mom, Nyasia Garcia, a senior at Freedom High School in Bethlehem. Nyasia, thanks so much for being with us, ladies. We appreciate it. Nyasia, I got to talk to you first. You're 18 years old, and you have an 18-month-old son, right?
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about what it was like that sophomore year when you found out you were pregnant.
It was really hard. I was more concerned about what my mom was going to say, like the one girl said, but she didn't take it very easy. It was very emotional through the whole pregnancy. His dad's in the picture. I wouldn't have gotten through it without my guidance counselors at school or anybody, actually, that was supporting me through the whole roller coaster of the pregnancy.
So you make it through pregnancy, and the next thing you know, you've got this little life that needs you. How tough is that? The good news is you stayed in school, and you'll graduate this spring, but you're already taking college classes at Northampton Community College, right?
Yes.
So congratulations, you've made it over a big hurdle.
Thank you.
Already. How hard was it, though, to possibly not sleep at night and get up for school and take tests?
It was really hard. I didn't do it some mornings. There was days where I didn't go to school because I didn't get sleep the night before, and my son was sick. But especially when he's sick, that's the hardest part about it because I can't be there for him. I have to go to school. There's not like I can stay home all the time, but I had to go to school. I had to do what I had to do, and I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it for him.
Talk to us a little bit about, you had to find childcare, right?
Yes.
How'd you go through that process?
Well, the CCW, I only pay $5 a week for it through them because I'm in school. They'll do, I guess, this priority that they have to, well, they want to help and want to see the girls go to school, so they'll have them lower the child care. And the child care that I have now, I like them a lot.
You said it's $5 a week when the regular cost is $178 a week. That's
Yes.
about $720 a month for childcare. That's the cost of an apartment rent. Angel, talk to us a little bit about how you're able to partner to help these young parents at least stay in school.
Well, what we do is we provide a quality early learning program for children. We have one based in Allen High School, so children can be brought there while their parents attend school, and they can focus more on their education and not worry so much about their children because we're taking good care of them.
How hard is it for young people like Nyasha to know that it's available? Because a lot of time they may think they just have to drop out, because who would imagine you could be lucky enough to only pay $5 a week for child care?
I do know our staff works with the ELECT program as well, so that they often can share that information with them, and we'll actually help them apply for the Child Care Works. And we also offer scholarships if there's a gap in between the time when a student needs care and the Child Care Works is going to take effect. So we also offer that for them too.
Now, you mentioned William Allen is the only school that actually has a daycare in the school right now.
Yes.
So for you, Nyasha, from Freedom, how far do you have to drive to get your child to childcare?
Well, it's only 5 minutes away from my house. It's a walk there. It's not a drive even. But my mom drops them off in the morning, and I'll pick them up after school around 3:30 when I get out.
So it's worked out pretty well for you?
Yes, it has. Very well.
And you're graduating on time, right?
Yeah, I actually finished my credits early, so that's the only reason why I'm doing the classes at Northampton.
Good for you. And what kind of degree are you working toward?
I actually want to go into dental hygiene. I've been flip-flopping around about what I wanted to do. It was first to be a lawyer, but now I'm really focused on doing dental hygiene.
That's great. 2-year certificate?
Yes.
Good for you. You can make it. You can see the end in sight. Is that helpful, too, to just know that
yes.
You can see how much time it'll take?
Some days it's really hard just to focus on what I want to do and what's possible to do. Like, there's some times where I just cry because it's just overwhelming. But then at the end of the day, I know I'm doing it for a good reason. And it's not just because I want to push myself. It's because I'm doing it for another person.
So failure is not an option for you, right?
No.
You know, Angel, talk to us a little bit. That last word before we run out of time. What do you want young people out there listening to realize?
That we're here and we'll support their children, their care, while they continue and focus on their education.
Sounds exciting. Angel and Nyasha, I'm so very grateful for your time and sharing your information. We wish you all the best and good luck in school, and we can't wait until you get that degree.
Thank you.
Well, most teens who become pregnant fear telling their parents, as you just heard Nyasha say, and worry about telling the father, too. Friends often turn their backs on them, and they see their dreams vanish. But teens don't have to do it alone, and they don't have to give up their dreams. There are people and resources ready to help. Tempo and Depth's Grover Silcox takes us to 2 organizations in the Lehigh Valley that support pregnant teens, teen moms, and their families when they need it most.
What color is this?
18-year-old Tamika Green plays lovingly with her bubbly 2-year-old daughter, Tajira, in the comfort of their second-story Allentown apartment. It's one of 6 owned by Valley Youth House as part of the social service organization's maternity group program.
I was living with my grandmother, and then, my mom, and then like a month with my grandma.
Tamika needed a stable place for her and her baby to live. She worked but didn't make enough to make ends meet. So she reached out to Valley Youth House, not just for a place to live, but a way to live independently.
The mission here is really to provide teen parents or pregnant young ladies the opportunity to get stable and get set and be successful as they start off in life.
2 teen moms and their children share an apartment with a common living room and kitchen.
We do pay, of course, the rent and the utilities. We give them money for food and monthly bus passes, but they contribute about $60 a month towards their living expenses.
Life skills counselors start from day 1, preparing the moms for leaving the program and living independently.
It's everything they need to know about parenting, nutrition for their kids, nutrition for themselves, banking, budgeting.
And then housing, education, and employment.
Tamika was only 15 and in 10th grade at William Allen High School in Allentown when she gave birth to Tajira.
I hope people scared me as well. You have all these sayings, oh, you're not going to be able to finish school.
In spite of the critics, she returned to school after her baby was born and graduated with her class last year.
We worked with her as far as daycare goes and, resume building. She was able to obtain employment, and she's been working full-time.
Tamika's plans include going to college, saving more money, finding a home of her own for her and her daughter, and
just being successful for her and keeping her going, showing her what it's like growing up.
While Tamika teaches her toddler, 17-year-old Amanda Santos prepares for motherhood. The Liberty High School junior discovered she was pregnant last summer. Her baby's due next month. CareNet, an advocacy organization in the Lehigh Valley, has been helping her.
We provide free pregnancy tests. We do ultrasound for determining gestational age, intrauterine pregnancy. We focus on, if they're going to parent, getting them into a program for ongoing prenatal care. And then we have services that will help them walk through their entire pregnancy.
Sharon Grant, her staff, and volunteers help a lot of teens like Amanda who become pregnant and don't know what to do next.
We see everything from, I think I might be pregnant, I have no idea what I'm going to do, to I might be pregnant, can you confirm that?
I started crying, and I was so nervous, how am I going to tell my mom?
Sharon calms clients down.
They think that mom's going to kill them, and I can lovingly reassure them that that is not going to happen.
I took it pretty hard, a little hurt, being that I went through that experience, wanted a little bit better for her.
Amanda weighed her options and decided to keep her baby. She began participating in CareNet's Learn While You Earn parenting classes and sessions.
Our clients then will earn baby bucks, and those baby bucks can be redeemed in our baby boutique. We have a wide array of baby supplies, diapers, wipes, cribs, car seats, strollers, baby clothes, blankets, crib items. You name it, we have it.
Amanda's in a better place emotionally now. Her family's supportive, the baby's father will be part of his life, and Amanda, an honors student, will continue going to school and hopefully on to law school, her dream.
I'm determined to get far and do all those things even with a child at a young age.
These teen moms are lucky. They can still hold on to their dreams they'll share with their children. For Tempo in Depth, I'm Grover Silcox reporting.
Thanks so much, Grover. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, in 2011, approximately 330,000 babies were born to women aged 15 to 19, a record low for the U.S. The CDC reports that the reason for the decline isn't clear, but that teens seem to be less sexually active and more likely to use birth control than in previous years. Joining me now is Alice Kim, the Community Education Director at CareNet of the Lehigh Valley. Alice, let's talk a little bit about that specifically. You had some great information about how this has been on the decline over the last many years.
Yes, we're very happy to say that we're in a lot of the public schools being able to share in health classes about healthy relationships, sexual choices, setting personal boundaries, practicing refusal skills, but also thinking through risks about both preventing pregnancy and sexually transmitted infections and diseases, but also emotional risks, thinking through what you really want in long-term relationships and how you want to go about, getting involved in romantic relationships. So, yeah, it's been exciting to see students really respond to that, and then the numbers back that up.
Talk to me a little bit about those numbers that you shared with me earlier.
Yeah, so the Center for Disease Control said in 2012, 54% of high school students are postponing sexual activity. So that number's been going down since 1991. The numbers of teens having sex has been going down since 1991. And that's a great trend because we know the less...
About a point a year, wasn't it?
Yep. Mm-hmm. The less sexual partners, the less likely you are to contract STDs. The healthier your relationship's going to be, the longer you wait, the more mature you are. So that's a great trend.
And what are you seeing locally in those sexually transmitted disease rates and STIs, which you just taught me this morning what that was.
Right. Well, exciting news we found out from one of the health teachers at Easton Area Middle School. The district's been tracking this, and the sexually transmitted disease numbers at Easton High School have gone down for the first year. And they attribute that to both the health department coming in and doing education in the schools as early as the 8th grade. We go into the 8th grade as well, talking about healthy relationships and sexual choices, and just kind of helping kids think through what do they really want in life, what are their goals, how does a sexual relationship fit into that timing-wise, and what are the consequences of being sexually active in high school.
What's an STI?
Sexually transmitted infection.
Infection, because, growing up, all I heard was STDs.
Yep.
So that's another way that we look at it these days. What else needs to be done? You're in a lot of different schools in this area, but how can we make it an even bigger impact?
Well, I think the community needs to really know that teens are making these decisions to wait to be sexually active. They want to hear about how to build a healthy relationship. A health department survey that they did of 13,000 20-year-olds, 95% said they want to find one partner for life. People really want one faithful life partner. So you start to talk about that in the high schools, and you kind of hear some interesting twittering in the classroom, but then for the most part they go around and say, yeah, I guess that is what I really want. So then we talk about, well, then how do you be a faithful life partner? How do you find a faithful life partner? And I think if the community, if adults in their lives as well are talking about these things, what do they think makes a faithful life partner? And it's encouraging that teen to think about those qualities that they're looking for and why waiting till they're mature to really engage in sexual activity in an intimate relationship might help them be more likely to find and be that faithful life partner. I think that's a really positive way of spinning it, but students need support.
Can you share some of those characteristics that make a faithful life partner?
Well, we know having a mature outlook, understanding the difference between love and lust. Right? So love is commitment. It means that if we do have a child together...
You're waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning changing that diaper just like she is.
And both of us are going to be committed to that child. I mean, one of the messages we say is everyone you have sex with is a possible parenting partner for life. Right? So part of being mature and looking for that faithful person is also thinking, are they thinking, that that's really a commitment that they would need to make? Or is sex just a game, just something fun, a pastime? Are they really understanding this could be a lifelong commitment to a child?
And it is exciting to hear that students are accepting of the concept of finding one life partner as opposed to, back in the old days when I was in school, you just heard good girls don't. And it was always the woman's responsibility. I heard growing up, my mom would say, can't blame a guy for trying, but it's your job to say no. Life has changed since then.
Yes. I think there's ownership on both parts for men and women, thinking about long term. We saw some of the fathers interviewed saying, wow, I want to be there for my child. I want to be a stand-up father. I want to work on this relationship with the mother of my child. The outcomes aren't usually very good for the romantic part of that relationship maintaining, but having a mature adult relationship where you're raising that child together is really important. And I think men are seeing that they have a role in that as well, and that we have gotten that message down to younger men.
What else do you think needs to be done to help young people understand the consequences? Because sometimes I think teenagers think they're invincible, and it'll never happen to me.
Yeah, which is why we talk a lot about STDs, and while we're talking about that condoms do help lower the rates of STD transmission and pregnancy, as do other forms of birth control, they don't completely eliminate it. There's a failure rate.
Yeah, there's one foolproof thing that works every time. Abstinence. That's right. It's the only thing you can count on.
Yeah, but we talk about condoms. We say, look, if you go to CVS and read the back of the box, the manufacturer's going to tell you there's a 3.6% failure rate. So if 100 people use the product, 3 or 4 of them had no protection from pregnancy. And that's using the product correctly every time. There's slippage, breakage, leakage. There can still be a pregnancy. And the same is true for STDs. It lowers your risk greatly to use a barrier method, for example, a male or female condom. But that does not eliminate your exposure to STDs. Studies show if you have more than one sexual partner by age 24, your chance of getting an STD is 50-50.
Wow.
So I say to the students, if I said I had a car for you to drive that had a 50-50 chance you get in a serious accident, would you drive my car?
Okay, students, I want to know. We can't see you right now, but I want to see the group. If you had a 50% chance of getting in a car accident, would you get in that car? Raise your hand. If you would get in the car, raise the hand, because you take the risk.
There's
there's
always a couple that'll
lot of
say,
kids who
what kind of car? How cool is the car?
The
right?
majority of the 100 people in our studio audience said they wouldn't get in the car. Final
Right.
words. We've got just a few seconds. What do you want parents to know?
Parents, you need to know that students want to find that lifelong faithful partner. They're watching you, they're watching relationships. Be open. Share the things you've learned from your life about what keeps a relationship committed and how to spot people that are going to be supportive in your life and what you've learned about abuse and abusive relationships.
Alice Kim, great information from CareNet. We appreciate it so very much.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you know what? If you or someone you know is pregnant and needs help, they can reach CareNet of the Lehigh Valley at carenetlv.org or by calling 610-821-4000. At thenationalcampaign.org, you can research the latest national and state data about teen pregnancy from the National Campaign to Prevent Teen and Unplanned Pregnancy. And finally, check out the campaign's sister site at stateteen.org. Here, teens can learn about the facts about sex, pregnancy, and risky behaviors. Plus, get questions answered about myths and get them dispelled. Well, before we say goodnight, we have a special drawing for our studio audience. We have a Sands Casino Resort Bethlehem $50 gift certificate, good at the shops or the restaurants and the event center. So, Alice, help me pick one out.
Oh, boy.
Find your number.
One of the Freedom students is going to get this today.
Yes, yes, they are. And it is number 4. Now, be happy, number 4, wherever you are. Oh, all right. $50 gift certificate for you. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you and our studio audience very soon. Good night.
The people of Air Products feel privileged to bring this programming to you. By supporting education and the arts, Air Products strives to improve the quality of life here in the Lehigh Valley, where we call home.
How'd you like to be part of a studio audience for a live taping of Tempo in Depth? Join us at the PBS 39 Public Media and Education Center on the Steel Stacks campus in Bethlehem. For free tickets and information, 610-867-4677 extension 333, or go online to tempo.wlvt.org. I hope to see you soon.
In 1948, John Walson put an antenna on top of a mountain and ran a cable back to his television store. Cable TV was born. Now, over 60 years later, his vision has changed the way we get our information, from super high-speed internet to stunning high-definition television. Service Electric is committed to leading the way in the community with the best coverage of local high school, college, and professional sports, and groundbreaking technology in this ever-changing world. Service Electric Cable TV.